One more time for a simple twist of fate. He woke up and the room was bare. He couldn't see her anywhere. Told himself he didn't care, but threw the window open wide.
Hi everybody, this is Konstantin Reinfeld. I'm back on YouTube and this is a new harmonica video, or rather a harmonica interview, a music talk, whatever you want to call it. I just returned from my trip to Berlin, where I worked on an upcoming duo album and upcoming concert dates, but also I had the great chance to interview Malcolm Arison, who's also known as Hank Williamson, being part of the band The BossHoss, which is actually one of the biggest bands here in Germany, playing country, blues, rock and roll music. They play the biggest stages in Germany, Switzerland and Austria. And Malcolm is a great multi-instrumentalist, playing harmonica, but also guitar and mandolin. He's composing for film, playing harmonica for film music, and also playing harmonica for many other popular artists here in Germany. So he has a lot of stuff to talk about. Hope you like the video. Let me know if you want to see more interviews on this channel. I can definitely imagine to do more of these. Thank you, Malcolm, for agreeing to do this. We also played some music, which was nice. We played a Bob Dylan song, which you can check out in the end of the video. So this is a first timer. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. You can find information on Malcolm and the BossHoss and their 2 dates in the description box below. So enjoy the video. Hey Malcolm, great to see you.
Konstantin, yeah, great to see you too.
Nice to see you. We're in Berlin here.
Yes, we are.
Actually at the BossHoss studio.
Yes, we are.
And your studio too.
Yes, I have a studio on the other side, down there. Yeah.
So this is Malcolm Arison. You're on stage with the BossHoss. Also, like sometimes your name is like Hank Williamson, right?
That's right. It's my professional name with the BossHoss.
So you give yourselves these names, or?
Yeah, we did. We when the band started, the band's got these pseudonyms: Boss Burns, Hoss Power, Rusty Rocket, and so on. Ernesto, Gus, Russ, Gus, Hank, and Frank. And I'm Hank. I had to become Hank. And the reason why I chose Hank Williamson was a mixture between Hank Williams and Sonny Boy Williamson, who's my big...
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right, my big hero, both. One and two. And Hank Williams' son, Hank Williams' son.
Oh yeah.
You get it, huh? And,
so that was one of your main influences as a harmonica player.
Yeah. Sonny Boy 2 was originally my big influence. I loved him as a teenager.
Yeah.
I used to try and copy his style, and I loved his sense of humor, and I just really, I adored Sonny Boy Williamson.
Okay.
I still do, but I was totally mad about him, when I was a youngster. And so I would say he was in my formative years, he was my main influence on harmonica. His small, short, rhythmic phrases, very pregnant, full of power and soul. Yeah, I loved him. Yeah. Yeah,
so for those who don't know, like Malcolm is one of the few harmonica players who really plays on the biggest stages in Germany. And that's amazing, and I think like a lot of people should know. But how did everything start for you? Like, when did you get into music like very seriously? You grew up in Manchester, right?
I grew up in Manchester, and I picked up the harmonica, I would say, when I was 14 years old.
Okay.
I had an uncle that was a big rock and roll and pop music fan, and he played me a lot of music when I was a kid. He played me the Beatles and the Stones and Bob Dylan and the original Fleetwood Mac and these kind of things. And that really, Uncle Neil, he was like my hero, and he used to play me all this really good pop and folk music and blues music. And then I discovered rock and roll, and discovered that blues was actually, like a kind of subtle form of rock and roll in a way, a deeper form of rock and roll, in my opinion. And so I wanted to copy that sound. I heard some harp, and I got a harmonica for my 14th birthday, and taught myself to play copying records, borrowed records from the record library. Used to copy, try and struggle along with them,
Yeah.
In those days, we didn't have internet or anything. We didn't have any. There was no means to learn it like this. You know, it was not accessible. This knowledge. You had to really work for it. And so I had this little book called Blues Harp by Tony Littleson Glover that was fantastic.
Okay.
And explained the rudiments, and it had a few songs in there with diagrams. And then I just tried to copy records.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that's the way like how people learn jazz music and blues music. It's like only like classical music that was like
notes.
Yeah, transmitted through like notes, written sheet music, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's also something I just start to notice now that like my father actually, he listened to a lot of Rolling Stones and Creedence Clearwater Revival, and I don't know, that's still an influence, of course.
Must have filtered through, yeah.
If you grow up with the music.
That's right. Yeah, I think when you grow up listening to that kind of stuff, that it sometimes kind of filters into your subconscious self, and
definitely,
and you have it there somehow indirectly.
But yeah, the great thing like is today all the information is accessible on the internet, and you also did like an instructional DVD for harmonica, right?
I did. I was very flattered when the people from HOHNER and PPV Median approached me at the time and said, "Would you like to do an instructional DVD and a book?" And it was quite a challenge because I'd never done anything like that before. I had taught a few people on, in my surroundings, but it was not like something that I'd gone deeply into. Yeah. But what I tried to do when I did this DVD was to try to transmit my love and my enthusiasm and my passion for the harmonica, which I do truly love. It's I think it's a very, very emotional and very, very vocal instrument, very personal instrument. Yeah. And it can do stuff that no other instrument can do in a way. It can touch you deep down, when it's played in the right hands or the right lips. I wanted to. A lot of people used to ask me after shows, we were just talking about that before, do people talk to you after shows? Yeah, they used to, at the time when we used to go to the merchandising, a lot of people would ask me a lot of questions about technique and influences and what they should listen to, where they could get a harmonica. And that kind of made me also aware that people were interested in that kind of stuff. Yeah. And apparently it's still selling the DVD, so people are still going for it. And I enjoyed doing it. And I enjoyed doing it. It was a good experience.
And it's so true what you said, like it's so important like to not only be like a teacher but also like just show everybody there that you're like really like doing this. This is like the best motivation for a student.
Right. I mean, to show how you don't have to be a virtuoso to be a good musician or to do valid music. You can do it at home, you can do it on waiting for the bus. Home. You can do it. I did it in the first place as out of egotistical motives, which was I wanted to please myself. Really, wasn't thinking I'm going to perform for people. I'm going to do shows, and I wasn't for any kind of motive except for me to copy these sounds that used to touch me and give me some kind of consolation and some kind of peace in a way, move me. And I wanted to be able to make these kind of sounds for myself to soothe myself in a way. When I had the blues, when I was a kid, teenager, and all this sort of thing, what you like when you're a kid, all the usual trouble that you get into, and harmonica's a good way to let off steam.
Yeah, it's such a good feeling to play the instrument.
Yeah, it's very satisfying. And when I was very little, I had a harmonica, and I used to sit in the toy cupboard at home. It was one of these Chinese, very simple echo models, that played chords. I used to just go up for hours. I used to sit in like dark spaces and I just and kind of space out and drift off doing that. It was very meditative, which it is. It is meditative playing the instrument.
That's true. Yeah. But it's not like your only instrument, because you are really good at playing guitar and harmonica at the same time with a rec.
I do that.
So you did quite a lot of street music early on, right?
That's what brought me to play the guitar, was to accompany my harmonica. I was playing on the streets of Geneva in the late 70s, early 80s, playing for cafe terraces, and it was a wonderful life traveling around Europe. And I had great American friends, musicians, British friends and friends from all over that lived from playing music on the streets, playing for cafes, playing in cafes, playing in bars, and it was very like very well looked upon in those days. It was like we were like stepping in the footsteps of Woody Guthrie, hoboing around and playing, telling stories on the streets, so to speak. And I was gathering experience, and I found that I was always waiting for these musicians not to turn up. We were going to go and play some terraces. We used to play on the Strassenbahn, on the trams.
Yeah.
And these guys would not turn up, and someone said, "Hey, you should just get a guitar, and accompany yourself." And that's why I learned the guitar. And then later on, I had to learn I learned the mandolin for the BossHoss, or more instruments just came along just out of necessity, really.
Right.
And,
that's how it is.
But guitar is also a big source of satisfaction, and it's a really good instrument for accompanying harmonica. It's probably the best instrument.
Yeah.
And I've been playing a long time now, and I do love it. Yeah.
So like playing on the street, that's like one of the best stages you can like learn on, right?
I found so, yeah, because you're not good, you don't eat really.
Okay.
And it was very, very sort of, what's the word? Zen. It was very, very direct.
Right.
You were living from your music directly. The coins that you were earning came from people's appreciation, and you could get your breakfast and your dinner. In those days, I was pretty quite lazy probably, and just did enough to get by and enjoy my life. Have fun and have breakfast, have dinner, somewhere to stay, move on to the next town, finance my instruments.
Right.
It was great, and that's when I learned the guitar. One thing added to the next, really, and
yeah.
I never saw myself playing on great big stages. Although in Geneva, I was in some really nice bands, in some reggae bands and some blues bands. We did play big festivals at the time, but I still didn't see myself making a career like I have done in the last years. Yeah, I've been lucky, very, very lucky.
So playing instruments, that's not like the only thing you do today, because you're also a lot into producing, and you do a lot for film music. And somehow that already started the connection to BossHoss, right? That was in 26.
When it's 13 years ago that I joined the band.
Okay.
But I did spend a period trying to learn how to produce music in studios. And I had a friend, he was a producer, and he was involved in Hansa Studios, which is quite famous here. And another friend also was working there, and I learned how to do this analog recording, how to mix, how to set up microphones, all kind of important things. How to work the tape machines. We had this big tape machines, and because I wanted to basically be autonomous and produce my own music. And
which is so important nowadays too.
Yeah, it is these days totally, because everyone does their own music these days, don't they? And it's a lot easier to do, of course, you don't need massive studios anymore. You can do it at home with a computer. I learned some of those skills, and but then was of course the period of transition where things turned digital, and I was kind of turned off by the digital world. I didn't really like the sound of the first CDs. I thought they were cold and sterile, and that it was a big rip-off. I felt at the time, why is everybody saying this sounds great? It sounded rubbish to me. I was boycotting. I boycotted CDs. I could play on CDs, but I did not even want to have a CD player at home. I had records. I was into records and vinyl. And now people are saying, yeah, vinyl's good. Now people acknowledge that analog has something that the digital doesn't have. Of course, the level has incredibly improved, and what we're used to listening to has changed too, because we're not used to. Germans would call it Hörgewohnheit. They've changed. Hörgewohnheiten. They've changed now. You're used to hearing digital recordings. In the old days, when you were only used to hearing analog recordings, digital sounded wrong.
But like doing so different stuff nowadays, like, what would you say? What are you doing? Are you like a songwriter, or how would you tell somebody else?
I'm a Well, I can't say they say jack of all trades, master of none, but I wouldn't. But that's not true because I'm pretty good at a couple of things. My starting point is the harmonica, and I have something very personal about my harmonica playing, that my own tone and my own kind of way of playing that somehow appeals to people and that touches them, and gets them. And so that's been a big bonus for me all my life. You know, that's what many artists like to have me play on their songs because it somehow I can grab the mood of their song and reinforce their statements or the atmosphere of what they're doing. But like I think because I can play a bit of guitar and because I can sing a bit and because I can do this, that people like to have me play in bands and have me do stuff with them. And I like to, at the moment I'm working on my solo project, which is like apart from BossHoss, it's gonna be my main thing.
Okay.
And it's work in progress, because I stopped doing that for years and years, and I've always been like a sideman or a soloist or a producer. But I felt that now the time has come for me to come tell my own stories again, and to put it all together, all the experience and all the things that I've learned and that I feel, to share that and to do my own thing.
Nice, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Well, thank you.
Because like the harmonica is so emotional, and that's also where it fits like in so many different styles, and it's great for film and great like for the big artists you also played for. Like you played for Udo Lindenberg recordings.
Yes, I did.
You just told me about the semi-deluxe record.
Yeah, I just found that yesterday.
Which is like the new one, and there's a song with you.
Yeah.
I gotta listen to that.
Yeah. That's called something like
Autopilot.
Autopilot, yeah.
That's what he said.
Just Sammy told me yesterday that I had a session with him here in the studios in summer. We did several songs together, but I just found out that one song's on the record. It's a very nice line, actually. I'm glad to. He's deep, you know, and I'm really glad to be able to be involved with people like that people want to collaborate with me, and or Udo Lindenberg, the MTV thing was really really satisfying.
Yeah,
it was quite magic, and some great artists. I've just played for C6 Steve, who maybe is not so well known in Germany, but in England he's totally adored, and throughout the world really, and that was a great thrill for me to play in this context of a very stripped down context of just his like one string guitar, what it is, special slide guitar that he self-made guitars that he has, and amazing drummer, and it's this deep, powerful blues that I was just totally thrilled to play on that.
And also more like MTV Unplugged, like right with Andreas Gabayé or stuff like that.
Yeah, I did that with him. Yeah. I used to play with his musical director, his producer. We used to be in bands together. At that time that I was saying about in the studio time, he's got a studio just below Hansa's studios actually, and from that circle of friends, we met again after ages, and he said, "I'm doing this MTV thing." And funnily enough, with BossHoss, we'd done a thing called Low Voltage, and it was the BossHoss thing with the Babelsberg Film Orchestra.
Oh, that's a nice combination.
Yeah, it was fantastic. We did it in what's the place? Admiral's Palace, 2 shows.
Oh yeah.
And it must be about 7 or 8 years ago now, or even longer. And it was a great experience. And we also went on tour playing in lovely opera houses throughout Europe. Switzerland and Austria and Germany. And the experience of playing with the orchestra from those early days served me in good stead when I did these MTV productions. It was a good experience, you know, to have kind of had some knowledge of playing with an orchestra. It's a bit different than playing with a band.
Yeah.
It's a different feel, and it's also a bit daunting, a bit frightening, you know. You think, oh, there's like 70 musicians on stage, and you've got to start the line, you know. And it's all being filmed and everything, and you know, so you got to feel up to it. But I found that the freer that I played, from my experience, the freer I played, of course, obviously you've got to focus on these key lines, but within my parts, the freer I played, the more I was myself, the more the musicians and the public appreciated it, actually.
Yeah.
You could be like an individual part within a framework, you know, within the framework of the orchestra.
But like doing all these different shows, do you have like a main setup for your BossHoss shows? Like which kind of harmonicas do you play, or like special microphones?
Yeah, I've got a whole mic on my corner of the stage. And I've got like a little podium, or whatever you call it in English, podest.
Yeah.
And I've got my table. I have like this funky little barroom table, and then I've got my harp case opened on it, with 2 layers of harps that I can reach. I've got them all sorted really well. I've got a backup for every harp, at least.
That's so important.
Yeah, I've had a reed's broken while I'm playing a solo.
Oh yeah.
I had that one time. It's really quite frightening in a way, but it's only happened to me once, you know, in all the years. I must say it's not common occurrence, but it can happen that the instruments go flat while you're playing, that they just suddenly decide to go flat, like a guitar going out of tune.
Or like a note that sticks, like...
Yeah, or some...
It can happen.
Yeah, some peanut butter in your mouth, or some...
Yeah, nice catering before the concert.
I can't eat.
You can always blame these people.
Yeah, I don't eat before. I don't eat before the show because everyone makes fun of it, because it's like a rule that I won't eat 3 hours before or 2 hours before, because I find that I lose about maybe... It's only 5% of intensity in my playing.
Oh yeah, I can totally understand. You have more energy.
More energy if you don't eat before the show. But the problem is that you can get drunk then.
Very quickly afterwards.
Very quickly. Yeah, no, the problem is, very quickly afterwards. Or if you drink just like one beer on stage or something. Yeah. You've got to watch out that you've got to watch your... We drink normally a vodka, the BossHoss. Am I allowed to say this on television?
Yeah, of course. It's only YouTube.
That's okay. You're allowed to say this on YouTube. We usually have a vodka shot before we go on stage. I don't get drunk for that normally, but sometimes during the show you'll have 2 or 3 couple of beers come across. Yeah. Depending on if it's how hot it is and what kind of show. And if you don't eat, of course, you can become lightheaded. Of course, it's not the end of the world. It's not that you're going to fall over or anything, but I prefer to be more focused when I play a show. A bigger show, of course, a large show.
So what would we say is like more like amplified harmonica playing? Are you playing through an amp, or are you also playing acoustically during these live shows?
Both. The thing is that I have had like a big Study Junior amp behind the stage, with some kind of bullet microphone, and maybe a couple of pedals in between, delay, and maybe a little bit of overdrive. But there's always fear within our band that the more amplifiers, the more chance there is of feedback. But true. I mean, it's true. But that's more of a case if you're in a smaller room. If you can put the amplifier far away, there's no trouble. There's no trouble of feedback. If you're standing directly in front of the amp, and you've got these bullet microphones that are open, they pick up everything. If it's loud on stage, they will pick up a lot of stuff. But I always can mute. I mute all my stuff when I'm not playing. I have it instantly muted, so that there's no chance of anything coming anywhere.
That's good. Yeah.
That's and I use these Shure UB something or other. Unidyne 3. They look like an SM57. Right. The silver, and they've got a on-off, and you can change.
That's actually the one Paul Butterfield was using.
That's right. Yeah, I really like those. They're quite a nice harmonica microphone. I also like SM57. Is also quite a warm microphone for harmonica. Then I have this floorboard with delays, and I use the delay sometimes in the time of the song, sometimes not, depending on the song and what the effect. So it's ones you can tap in the time for. I've got this pedal. It's a vintage pedal. It's not made anymore. I bought a whole load of them on eBay. They're Super Reverb from Fender. They don't make them anymore. I get them from Japan and from Canada. If I see one on eBay, I order it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really good. I've got a whole bunch of those because they're very simple and they're really, really quite good. And then I've got a multi-stand with electric guitars, acoustic guitars, and mandolins.
Nice.
Banjo when I play the banjo, and a washboard like that.
Oh, okay.
A washboard on the side of the stage. Percussion. I have this little rack on the microphone stand where I have the harps I'm just using and some percussion pieces, shakers, a couple of shakers that I use. I have 2 microphones. I have one clean microphone and one distorted microphone. And the distorted microphone I can turn on and off, and the clean one I sing into and play percussion into.
Oh yeah.
So I have these 2 microphones, it's like a swan-necked arm, they call it, onto the microphone stand. I have a stylophone that I play sometimes. It's like an analog synthesizer from the 70s.
Oh, okay.
We used to use it a lot in the early days before we had any keyboards. It used to be quite a feature in the BossHoss. Now I use it on 1 song or 2 songs maximum. So I'm always changing instruments all the time. It's like it keeps it interesting though, because I'm constantly like harp, shaker and harp, mandolin and vocals, guitar, just rhythm, electric guitar. Then I've got all these different kind of pedals for different distortions and different things like this. So got a whole bunch of gear on stage, just like a music store.
Yeah, so important, like, and good to like do like not only one thing at a time, but even if you're like practicing like one instrument, you want to incorporate like other aspects of the music. You want to like tap your feet or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the same thing like with guitar playing and harmonica or shaker or harmonica or I don't know. That's really good.
Yeah, it's good fun. I mean, and it's a good show. They're all good show elements. And BossHoss are a great show band. I must say that that one thing that we can really do, or they can really do, is perform. It's like they give 100% energy. It's like an unspoken rule. We go totally over the top. We give everything every time. And so we just really rock out every time. And people appreciate it, and we get them going.
Nice. Yeah. So what are the next stages? Are you on tour in 2020? When can people see your harmonica playing
live? We have a big summer tour coming up. There's some festivals. We have quite a lot coming up. Real lot this summer. You have to check the website, www.bosshoss.com. I haven't got all the dates in just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I've got some shows. Sasha, that's Hoss from the BossHoss. Well, it's his old project that it's kind of... he put on hold when the BossHoss became so successful. It's a rockabilly band called Hot Boogie Children. I was with them in Las Vegas, and I was with them in UK and Spain and all over, and they're very popular in this rockabilly scene. I have several shows with them. It's always a lot of fun playing with that band. It's right up my street. A bit like Slim Harpo style. Really cool boogies and just high energy rock and roll, and different diverse things going on.
Yeah, nice. So definitely like the big cities in Germany and also some open airs.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah, people, you can see that on stage.
Right on.
Like for the end, maybe we can play some music.
Okay. Together by the park, as the evening sky grew dark, she looked at him and he felt a spark tingle to his bones. Was then he felt alone and wished that he'd gone straight in and watched out for a simple twist of fate. Walked along by the old canal, a little confused, yeah, I remember well. He stopped into a strange hotel with a neon burning bright. He felt the heat of the night hitting like a freight train, moving with a simple twist of fate. Saxophone someplace far off played as he was walking down by the arcade, as a light burst through the beat up shade where he was waking up, caught into the curve of a blind man at the gate, and forgot about a simple twist of fate. And the room was bare, he couldn't see her anywhere. Told himself he didn't care, but threw the window open wide. He felt an emptiness inside, to which he just could not relate, brought on by a simple twist of fate. It's a ticking of the clocks. He walks along with a parrot that talks, hunts it down by the waterfront dock where the sailors all come in. Maybe she'll pick him out again. Tell me, how long must he wait? One more time for a simple twist of fate.
Nice.
Nice one, yeah, that's fun.
Thank you so much for your time.
Well,
yeah, that was great.
It was good fun being with you. You're a good guy. You woke up and the room was bare. He couldn't see her anywhere. Told himself he didn't care, but threw the window open wide. Felt an emptiness inside.